One of the things you may have noticed over the years is that the number of people with weight gain around the middle has increased dramatically. And there's a very good reason for that. When people have weight gain around the middle, you know that for the most part it's caused by carbohydrates and a thing called insulin resistance. Now I'm going to give you an analogy for this which for the biochemists among you is not strictly biochemically accurate, but it gives you as accurate a picture as I can think, or as understandable a picture as I can think of what's going on with this whole thing. And here's what it is. Imagine that you get tied down to a chair and you get force-fed your favorite dessert. Now, you know, the first bowl or plate is going to be pretty nice, and the second bowl, plate, or slice might still be nice, but by the time you get to 3 or 4 or 5, then at some point you're just going to go, no, 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 don't want any more. Now this is sort of what happens with your cells, because you're consuming, as most people do, inordinate amounts of carbohydrate, colossal amounts of carbohydrate, amounts that your system was not calibrated to handle. And so what happens is that after a while the insulin reaction becomes blunted, and the carbohydrates that you eat essentially get turned straight to fat. If insulin can't deliver them to the cells that are going to use them, it's going, because those cells are resisting, it's going to send them to fat. And where does that fat go? It goes in the belly. And it doesn't go in front of the belly, as most people like to think. I've seen lots of guys that, you know, hold out their big belly and go, hey, punch on that, you know, punch on that, because it's solid, it's solid, it's, I'm just big, but it's solid, there's not much fat there. Yes, there is. The fat's not on the outside, it's on the inside. It's in a thing called the omentum. You might have heard of that. The omentum, it comes from old European language, I think it's Latin or Greek, and it means a veil or a skirt. And indeed, it hangs over the front of the intestines behind the stomach muscle wall. And normally that's just a sort of paper thin thing. But when people consume a lot of carbohydrates, it tends to store fat, and it becomes bigger, and it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and it pushes out the abdomen, it pushes out the stomach wall. And that's why you see these guys, gals too, but you see it a lot in guys, running around with these enormous bellies, and most of it is not on the outside, it's on the inside, and it's the most dangerous kind of fat, because it's not just storage. People think fat is storage, but fat is not storage. That fat is not storage. It's a chemical factory, and it produces the types of chemicals that cause people's blood pressure to go up, causes their system to inflame, causes their cholesterol to go haywire, causes them to get heart disease, maybe stroke, all kinds of different things that are associated with this. And of course, if people go on too far down that path, they develop diabetes that comes with all types of risk for diseases you don't want to have. So think of that belly fat as like an alien, and think of the carbs as being what put it there, and realize that you've got a battle going on, because if you don't get rid of it, it will get rid of you. Pretty dramatic, right? But it's absolutely true. If you've got belly fat, get rid of it as fast as you can. This program will help you do it. And that's why, in my book, carbs are one of the most dangerous things that people consume, especially since they're everywhere. Watch out, folks.